I had to be honest with you, man. I'm even shaking right now being on this show. I'm a big time introvert. How you address it is you face it. You face it every day. You face it every single day of your life where you say, okay, like if you're fat, you need to lose weight. It's patience. It's patience in this fact of accepting who you are right now. I'm fat. I don't like myself. Accepting the fact that if you lose 3 or 4 pounds, that's a huge accomplishment. You have to live in your own fucking world. You cannot judge yourself. That's why social media and all these things are horrible. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. The things that, how people look, how people act, how smart someone is. This is a race that you run completely alone. And you're all by yourself. I had tons of sticky notes all over my mirror. It wasn't like be better than John or be as fast as whoever. Okay, David, yesterday you did this. Today, our next goal for the week is this. So I had a year goal, weekly goals, daily goals, hourly goals. And the big goal was I lied a lot growing up. I wanted to be accepted. One goal was, let's go one day without lying. You look to your left and you look to your right and you start to judge yourself off other people. Like if you're a female, well, she's skinny and she doesn't work out as hard as I do. And everything starts to corrupt your mind. You start to look around too much at other people and what they're doing. And that starts to corrupt your own dialogue. We are judging ourselves against too many fucking people. You have to judge yourself against yourself. And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This isn't a race against me and Rich Roll. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that bullshit, all the outside interference and things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow and realizing I'm stressed out for no reason. This is my own little race. This is my own timeline. And this is how I'm going to run it. I've done a lot of public speaking. Yes.
And something you enjoy doing?
I don't enjoy doing it.
No,
I don't enjoy doing interviews. And people go, well, why do you do it? One big reason why I can't stand it. Public speaking, being on camera. I used to stutter real bad growing up. Even me right now to talk to you, I'm in the car for an hour getting pumped up because I'm a shy, introverted, leave me alone type of guy. Like I'm still that motherfucker who is 6 years old, at a play who can't say his line because I know I'm going to stutter in front of 5 people. So I walk off the stage. That's still me. So every day I'm fighting that dude. So people think, oh my God, man, you're on a podcast. You look so crazy, so evil. No, I'm trying to be locked into Joe. So my mind isn't veer off saying, let's run out the damn door because people are watching me on the fucking podcast. I want to open this damn door and get the hell out of here, man. So that's the real me. So I'm not sadistic, man. I'm focused on what I have to do to stay locked into the game of life.
It's funny that you're sitting here saying that like things like public speaking you find hard when you've done all the crazy, insane stuff that you've done.
You gotta do them alone. I pick these hard things that most people think you can't finish anyway. You go out there, you grind, you're alone, you're in your own head. I work best alone. So those are easier. I figured out a way to kind of challenge your mind, channel it and challenge it at the same time. And I figured out a way to kind of just have an indestructible toolbox in your mind. So those are easier.
And how are you finding now? You're very public,
right?
You would say famous. You come to London, which isn't where you live, and you get recognized everywhere. You're speaking in front of 500 people. How are you finding that phase of challenging your mind and your life?
It sucks. I'm going to be honest with you, man, because, but for some reason, I have a gift. It's not a gift of gab. It's just a gift of saying, look, man, I'm vulnerable. I'm very, very human. I'm not God's gift. I'm not Superman. I'm not Batman. I'm not even Robin. But I did figure out some things along my journey. So if I kept myself introverted and closed in, no one would ever, realize, man, that big, hard, tough guy over there, man, he's just some superhuman, and they put a title on me. This way, I had to break myself down, let people know that anyone can be who they want to be. Always stay the fucking course. You man the fuck up every fucking day of your life because you know exactly what it is to not man up. If you were to write a book right now in your life and you were on your deathbed and you had to give that book to someone to read, would you change their life? I wanted people to find inspiration through a person that I didn't have some Lance Armstrong VO2 max. I didn't have some great parents that, I had some amazing brain. I wasn't physically gifted. I'm not the healthiest person in the world. I'm nothing. But I turned nothing into something. So that's what you gotta understand. You don't have to be some special creature and come from some special people and have a special school. You have to have a special brain. And people always talk about the pull-up record. I have these humongous calluses on my hand from doing all these pull-ups. I did 67,000 pull-ups in preparation to break the record. It took me 3 attempts to break the record. The first time in the Today Show, I failed miserably in front of millions of people. I didn't care. I'd already, I failed so many times in my life, but you fail a lot when you set your goals so high, and I understand that. So I calloused my hands to protect my hands against a pull-up bar. What I did through my life was I calloused my brain by doing things that I did not want to do. And that's how you build mental toughness. Everybody wants to know the trick. Very easily. Do things you don't like to do. That's about it. If you don't want to run, I hate running. I'd rather eat a big old piece of pizza than watch the football game. So I decided to run 205 miles. And how I became mentally tough was having that same mindset every day of my life by doing something that sucks every day and pushing myself to that limit. I did realize one thing. The things I don't enjoy that I still do, that's where growth is at. And that's, for me, the only place growth is at is in that very uncomfortable zone.
Yeah.
So I have to visit it every single day. But you have to be David Goggins and say, man, I'm afraid of this. I'm up here. Life made me this way here. I stutter. I have these issues with reading and writing, and I'm fat and I'm insecure. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of that dark room to face who you are. That's the only way you're going to get over all those things. You have to create someone else, but you have to find strength. And that visualization of almost me cracking out Goggins, almost like that Superman cape, like I'm coming out a different person, a person that doesn't give a about anything, who doesn't care about being judged, who knows I'm weak, who knows I'm afraid, who says, whatever you think about me, take it, whatever, I'm here. That's Goggins. People think that my knees are bad from a lot of running, and they're wrong. I wasn't born healthy. I wasn't born with some great body alignment. I have sickle cell. I have all kind of shit. I have all kind of health issues. All kind of, I'm up. I had a choice to make. And the choice was, growing up, okay, this hurts, that hurts. We can just sit down and do nothing. Or we can see how far we can push the human body. So on that journey, as I started getting more and more into my mind and start realizing what I'm capable of doing, my mind got stronger. So the pain in my knees, while it sucked, I've been doing it for so long, it became my new norm. Okay, my knees hurt. F it. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, but you sometimes have to ignore your feelings. For me, I made a decision, and my decision was to be the best person I could. And I basically, as I wake up and say, F your feelings. Don't take it literally, your feelings, but sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling. And my knees were but guess what? I wanted to run. And I knew that, okay, you can get knee replacements, this and that. Like I said, it wasn't because of I ran too much. People always want to say, oh man, you ran so much so you f***ed up your body. You don't want to be like David Goggins. I hear it all the time. You don't want to be like David Goggins. In 2001, I messed up my leg real bad, and hell, we kept on going on it. Just kept on going.
What did you do to it, and how we?
I think the boat, I fell, it twisted, but over a period of time, it got worse and worse and worse. So I was getting Toradol shots every day. And then it just got worse. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm good. So I kept going on it. So it kind of healed off up. So it just kept going. Years later, it kept going on it. So I stopped squatting. So it became like, okay, my knees fucked up, my alignment's messed up, my hips are messed up, I can't squat. So, but I can still run. So, okay, started running. Because running doesn't require you to bend down and shit. So I'm running a lot. And it got to 20 years later, pretty much. And it was 2020. Cameron Haynes came down. We went for a 20-mile run. My knees were up for like 10 years. Long story short, it was like, okay, man, I got to get this thing looked at. So I went and got looked at. The doc was like, oh, we can go in there and just do a quick little cleanup job. And the cleanup job wasn't so quick. Guy was breaking tools and shit, up, like literally broke tools. He was breaking tools.
I talked to him. He told me your meniscus was the hardest meniscus he's ever experienced in his life. He's like, dude, he goes, I didn't know that meniscus could get that way. He goes, like, he's not human. He goes, when I was cutting into meniscus, it broke the scalpel.
Yep.
He said, normally when you cut into meniscus, it just slices right through like butter. He's like, I couldn't cut it.
Yeah, mine went butter. Mine went butter. So all those motherfuckers who think I'm going to put in them 100-mile weeks, go yourself, bitch. You don't get no shit like that, baby, by sitting on the couch.
No, I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, you've hardened your meniscus just through constant pressure and pounding.
Yeah.
So he went in there to clean it up, and then what happened?
So basically, that little meniscus, so my alignment was so bad. The only thing that was keeping me able to do anything was that little messed up meniscus. It was all jarred up and jacked up, but the second that thing got out, dude, it was like have you seen Star Wars? They have wobbly legs and they hit like logs.
The robot things?
Yeah, the robot things. That's how my leg was. It had nothing. It was just like a little dangling, like, so from my knee down, the shin, the tib fib, it just dangled. Like there was nothing. And I was like, okay, man.
So it was worse after the cleanup.
Much worse. Like I was done. I went from running 200 miles to, I did a 240-mile race in 2020, October 2020. It was Moab. Went out there, got second place, 62 hours. Knee was getting it drained before the race, but I still ran 240 miles. Literally 5 or 6 days before the race, I'm getting it drained. And it was a baseball size, and it's called a Baker's assist. So they drained it, and I went in there and did the race, finished it, and I was like, okay, here we go. Went on to do some more races. I did like another 200-miler, did a couple more races, and then, like I said, Cam came down. But after that, I went and got this surgery done. And I went from running every day to now I have some legs that just dangles. After that surgery, it just dangled. And I was like, okay, man, I'm fucked.
And it's just from that little piece of meniscus?
Just that little piece of meniscus. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, man, this doesn't make any sense to me. There's something fucked. I don't understand why I can't put any pressure on my leg. The amount of blood they were taking out was unbelievable. I went back and I was like, man, I'm fucked up. I mean, it's a simple meniscus surgery, man. Like people go back a week later. They're playing 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. I'm like, man, I'm never going to run again. I'm going to walk with a limp. So I'm going back. I'm literally getting my knee drained every week, getting PRP. I'm like, man, but in the back of my mind, I know how far I can push myself. I know my body so well. And I'm like, this is wrong. I go, I'm never going to run again. I'm never going to run again. And I walk with a limp. So this went on for about six months. So I had the surgery done in February. 4 months after the surgery, I got to find somebody else to look at my fucking knee. So I try to keep my shit together. But imagine when you go from every day of your life grinding and you go to nothing. Like literally like 90-minute surgery, done.
That's crazy that it was just a little meniscus scope.
90-minute surgery, done. So I found this guy named Dr. Gamal out of New York. And we fly there, but I'm like, he can't fix this, man. Because I knew it was a lot more than knees. It was all kind of this body shit. So I walk in the office and the doc's like, yeah, I'm looking at your x-rays. And that's the doctor who's like, I don't know how. This is one of the Dr. Gamal, look him up, world-renowned motherfucker, dude. And when this guy looked at me, straight-faced, he said, man, I don't know how you did anything with those knees. Anything, let alone run 200 miles back-to-back, 240 miles, where the you did. I don't know how you did it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Can we get it fixed? And he didn't want to get there because he knew I was fucked. He's like, no, we can maybe try an unloader brace. Maybe an unloader brace will help you out. And I was
What's
like,
an unloader brace?
So basically, my knee went in on the meniscus side, on the inside. So it was like jamming on the inside. So this brace kind of helps realign the knee a little bit. So then you cannot have so much pressure on the inside of your leg. I'm like, man, so this is all you have for me? I'm like, you can't do shit for me? And he was like, no. And he was walking out of the office and he could tell. I was like, I wasn't too f***ed up, but I was like, because I kind of was preparing myself for the next part of my journey. I don't like to lay in my shit too long. I give myself a couple of minutes to say, okay, we got man to fuck up. We got to get back in this, like, what's next? Let's go see, let's go back to college. Let's do something because you're running and your athletic career's done. So he got to the door, he opened it as he was shouldered out the motherfucking door. And I'm looking at Jennifer, I'm like, well, we'll go back to Nevada and start again. And he was like, try the unloader brace out and there's one more thing we could possibly do for you. And I'm like, like, get your little monkey ass back in here, bro. Like, what is it? Like what the fuck's going on? So he was like, yeah, there's this surgery called HTO. And he was like, you can go in, we can, pretty much break your tibia. It's called high tibia osteotomy. They go in and they break your tibia, slice into it, and they wedge it to the point where they realign your leg back up. It's a very painful surgery. It's very painful afterwards. Painful as fuck afterwards. And they put the plate you saw, back on. So your knee is still where it was because this doesn't get fixed. So it takes several months for that knee to start working its way back into where that alignment is. So on the outside, so I have a nice meniscus over there. That thing wasn't touched for years because how I was born, all the pressure was on my medial meniscus.
So your knee had been misaligned your whole life?
The whole life. That's my whole life has been up. So my meniscus on my lateral side is pristine. So now the way he did it is that all of my pressure is going on to that pristine meniscus.
Okay.
So now it's all about getting that leg back aligned, which is taking forever.
Knees are a problem, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that you require your knees to do what you do, your whole thing is endurance athlete. And to be an endurance athlete, you got to be able to move your legs.
You got to be able to move them. This was like literally a trained skill for me. Was I'm always preparing for like not being a bitch. I got to a point in my life where I realized this is life. And so I move on past things real quick. So people are like, oh my God, what are you going to do, David, if you can't run? I'll swim, or I'll go to college, or I'll do something else. This isn't my life. So I'm very aware how quick life can take shit from you. And I've always prepared my mind for the next chapter. And what happened with me was I started this thing called front loading. So when I was young, I used to be a little piece of shit. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I can't do that. But the second I got my head out of my ass and I realized, man, you can achieve a lot of shit if you get off your ass and you start moving and you start motivating yourself. Start becoming a self-motivator. So I started front loading. People are like, you've done so much by 47 because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring me. So my military resume is fat. I did a lot in the military. I did a lot outside the military. I've made money. I've done almost every race out there, hard race in the world. I've broken pull-up records. I've done a lot of shit. So when these bad times come, and also, and not only that, work your ass off so you can enjoy. Yeah, you're taking a shot. You may not live to be old, but what if you do? And you worked your ass off when you were able, and you were able to get up early, able to grind. If you front load it properly, the back half of your life is money. And that's what I did. The second I realized that, man, you are a piece of shit, we got to get going. Because at 47, man, you're not going to be able to do any of this shit. So I front loaded. So all these bad things that have happened to me, I sit back and go, man, how are you handling this so well? Well, I've done it. I front loaded. I have the money I need. I have the success I need. I have the determination, the willpower, and also the pride in myself. So when I wake up every morning, I know who the fuck I am. I front loaded perfectly. So I don't care what's taken from me.
Your body is your medium. The body is the vehicle for you to express yourself.
Right.
And your body's breaking down. I know that they consider doing knee replacements on you too.
Yep.
And what was that conversation like?
It was very basic, man. It's like, hey, you're not going to be able to do some of the shit that you've done, even though obviously people are. But that was the conversation. And
I know it sounds weird. It was totally fine with me. It was fine because dude, people don't understand. This wasn't like a part-time job. Man, I mean, you've done what like Kobe Bryant. When Kobe retired that last game, he had like 60 points or something. He walked off the court. He didn't cry. He said, oh my God, I'm going to miss the sport. What the fuck? He walked off. He gave everything he could. Man, when you give what I've given, and motherfuckers like to say, oh, fuck you. You don't know shit. Which makes me who I am. I've given everything. People make, oh, you ran on up knees. You taped your feet up. You did blah, blah. You had 2 heart surgeries. You kept on going. Yep. Sure did. I had somewhere to go. I had somewhere to go, and I got there. And buddy, when motherfuckers tell you you can take a break now, hey, you up? As long as my knees are halfway worked, I got to run. You telling me, man, maybe a chance I can't run no more? Give me an excuse to not do shit, but as long as I have no excuse, I got to do it. I was happy where I was. I gave everything. I gave everything to who I am. People, oh, I don't believe that. Don't believe it. I gave everything. And when you give everything, man, you have no regret. People didn't understand me. People don't understand me now. I don't give a fuck. I know exactly what I was doing. I'm not a masochist. I'm not crazy. I'm not this and that. People try to title me and label me. No, I had something to fucking do.